Hello everyone, I am Professor Nitin Genjle, and in this video we are going to see the most basic questions answer in data analysis, that is what is data and its classification. The key points of this video are what is data, classification of data, and data types with examples. So let's see formal definition of data. Data is anything that is unprocessed fact, value, text, sound or picture that is not being interpreted or analyzed yet. Note that data is the most important part of all the data analytics, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Without data, one cannot train any model and all modern research and automation will go in vain. Big enterprises are spending lots of money just to gather as much certain data as possible. For example, ask yourself, why did Facebook acquire WhatsApp by paying a huge price of $19 billion? Answer is quite simple and logical. It is to have access to the user's information that Facebook may not have, but WhatsApp will have. This information of their users is of paramount importance to the Facebook, as it will facilitate the task of improvement in their services. Now let's see the classification of data. Data is mainly classified into two parts, qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data is the data that describes qualities or characteristics of the information. It is mainly collected using questionnaires, interviews or observation, and frequently appears in the narrative form. Whereas the quantitative data is the data that expresses a certain quantity, amount or range. Usually there are measurements units associated with this data. For example, unit meters in the case of height of a person. Now let's see examples of qualitative and quantitative data. Start with yourself as an example. To acquire qualitative data, consider identifiers like color of your clothes, type of your hairs, and nose shape. Whereas for quantitative data, consider measurable values like your height, weight, age, and shoe size. Now let's see the difference between qualitative and quantitative data. The first difference is in the method of collection of the data. Qualitative data uses methods like interviews, participants' observation, focus on a grouping to gain collective information. Whereas in quantitative data, data is collected using methods like questionnaires, surveys, and structural observations to gain collective information. Next difference is in the format of the data. Qualitative data format is textual. Data sheets are contained of audio or video recordings and notes. Whereas quantitative data format is numerical. Data sheets are obtained in the form of numerical values. Third difference is about what data talks. Qualitative data talks about the experience or quality and explains the questions like why and how, whereas quantitative data talks about the quantity and explains the questions like how much and how many. Next difference between the data is what does it analyze. This data is analyzed by grouping it into different categories, whereas quantitative data is analyzed by statistical methods. And lastly, what is the nature of the data? The qualitative data are subjective and can be further open for interpretation, whereas quantitative data are fixed and universal. Next we see different types of qualitative data. There are three types of qualitative data: categorical data, binary data, and ordinary data. Categorical data is the type which can be divided into groups, or one can say that it is the data that is used to group information with similar characteristics. Examples of categorical variable are race, sex, age group, and educational level. Next is binary data. As the name suggests, it is the type of data that is represented or displayed in the binary numeral system. Binary data is the only category of data that can be directly understood and executed by the computer. It is numerically represented by the combination of zeros and ones. Some easy examples of binary variables, that is attributes, are: smoking is a binary variable with only two possible values, either yes or no. A medical test has only two possible outcomes, positive or negative. And gender is traditionally described as male or female. Next is ordinary or ordinal data. It is the kind of categorical data with a set of order or scale to it. A distinguishing feature of the ordinal data is the categories it uses are ordered on some kind of hierarchical scale, that is high to low or low to high. For example, ordinal data is said to have been collected when a responder inputs his or her financial happiness level on the scale from 1 to 10. Let us assume that 50 people earning between $1,000 to $10,000 monthly were asked to rate their level of financial happiness. An undergraduate earning $2,000 monthly may be on an 8 on 10 scale, while a father of 3 earning $5,000 rates 3 on 10. This is to show that the scale is usually influenced by personal factors and not due to the set rules. Next we see the different types of quantitative data. There are two types of quantitative data, namely discrete data and continuous data. The numerical values which falls under are integer or whole numbers are placed under this category of discrete data. For example, the number of speakers in the phone, the number of cameras or cores in the processor, or the number of SIM supported by the phone. All these are examples of discrete data. Whereas in continuous data, if the data consists of fractional numbers, then it is considered as continuous data. For example, operating frequency of the processors, the Android version of the phone, or Wi-Fi frequency, or temperature of the cores. These are examples of continuous data. Lastly, thank you for watching this video. I hope you understood these basic concepts from data analysis. Please do subscribe my channel for more such informative videos.